Welcome to a world of laughs where humor knows no bounds. Enjoyed your stay? Subscribe, hit like, and keep the chuckles coming. Remember, laughter is timeless. A bustling day in the city, our protagonist finds herself boarding an overcrowded bus. The bus, packed tighter than a can of sardines, doesn't offer a single vacant seat. So, our heroine, displaying the grit and determination of a seasoned commuter, navigates through the sea of bodies to find a spot where she can hold onto a pole. Now, here's where things get hairy, quite literally. As she's holding onto the pole overhead, it's hard to ignore her rather, let's say, hirsute underarms. And who should be standing nearby but a man who's clearly been celebrating Thirsty Thursday a little too hard. Our tipsy passenger, slightly swaying with the rhythm of the bus, becomes utterly transfixed by the sight of her underarms. After a solid 3 minutes of staring, he gathers his liquid courage and decides to speak. He leans in, slurring his words slightly, and says, "I love a woman who does aerobics." Our heroine, less than amused, snaps back, "I don't do aerobics." But our drunk man, unfazed and with a smirk that only added to his confusion, squints back at her underarms and blurts out, "Then how did you get your leg up so high?" In a world where dreams often meet unexpected challenges, a young, newly blonde bride found herself at a crossroads. Her heart was filled with dreams of starting a family, but despite months of trying, she was unable to conceive. With a blend of hope and nervousness, she sought answers from a gynecologist. As she sat in the examination room, her voice tinged with frustration, she shared her struggle. "We've been trying for months now and I don't seem to be able to get pregnant," she admitted. The doctor, filled with reassurance, promised to conduct a thorough examination to unearth the root of the problem. Embarrassed, yet determined, she agreed. But as she prepared to climb onto the examination table, she added a small caveat. "All right," she conceded, "but I'd rather have my husband's baby." In an Italian restaurant, two strangers, Jim and Jonah, were about to embark on a culinary adventure of a lifetime. The air was filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation as they prepared for their blind date. They both took a gastronomic risk, ordering notoriously messy dishes. Jim, with a daring spirit, chose the lasagna, while Jonah, leaning towards the classics, opted for spaghetti. As they tried to maintain an air of grace amidst the clatter of cutlery, the spaghetti and lasagna proved to be a formidable challenge. And then, it happened. The battle between Jonah and her spaghetti reached a climax. A rogue drop of tomato sauce from Jonah's spaghetti took a daring leap, landing smack dab on her pristine white top. "Oh my, look at that! I'm such a mess!" Jonah exclaimed, pointing to the glaring red blotch. That's when the date took a saucy turn, literally. Unaware of the spaghetti incident's impact, Jim continued to enjoy his lasagna. Oblivious to the tension in the air, he savored each bite, lost in his own world. Jonah's self-deprecating comment flew right over his head as he casually agreed, thinking it was just a humorous jest. Ah, the perils of miscommunication and lasagna. And just like that, Jim, with a mouthful of lasagna, nodded in agreement, not realizing that he just agreed to Jonah being a pig. Imagine Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson trading the foggy lanes of London for the backwoods of Kentucky. Yes, our witty detective duo decided to swap crime scenes for campsites. After a day of hiking and setting up camp, they slipped into a well-deserved slumber under the starlit sky. The tranquility was short-lived when Sherlock, as observant as ever, woke up and noticed something amiss. He nudged a snoring Watson. "Watson, observe the sky and tell me your findings." Watson, bleary-eyed but compliant, mumbled, "Astronomically, galaxies aplenty. Astrologically, Saturn in Leo, horologically a 3:15, theologically our insignificance, and meteorologically, a beautiful day tomorrow." Quite pleased with his elaborate deductions, he turned to Sherlock and asked, "And what does it tell you, Sherlock?" Sherlock, ever the master of deduction, paused for a moment before giving his response. His tone was both amused and exasperated, a stark contrast to Watson's academic musings. "Watson, you nincompoop! It tells me someone has stolen our tent!" In a quiet corner of the city, a man strides into a local pharmacy, determination etched on his face. The ambient hum of the air conditioner is the only sound accompanying the middle-aged pharmacist as he organizes medication behind the counter. As the man approaches, the pharmacist greets him, prepared to lend a helping hand. Without missing a beat, the man states, I need to buy some birth control pills for my 12-year-old daughter. The pharmacist, shocked and concerned by this unusual request, hesitates, then cautiously probes, "Your 12-year-old daughter is already active?" The man, maintaining a deadpan expression, retorts, "No, she just lies there like her mother." A man, his date, and a bunk bed they're about to share for the night. But wait, there's a catch. The man confesses his quirky living situation. Yes, he's still bunking with his brother under their parents' roof. The secret codes? Lettuce to switch positions, tomatoes to speed things up, and so, with a nod of understanding, they climbed into the top bunk, tiptoeing around the sleeping brother. Now, as things start to heat up, our lady friend remembers the code words. Caught up in the throes of passion, she starts calling out, "Lettuce, lettuce, tomatoes, lettuce, tomatoes!" Meanwhile, the younger brother, trying to sleep beneath the shaking bed and muffled voices, grows increasingly frustrated. Finally, with a shout of exasperation, the younger brother yells, "Could you stop making sandwiches? You're getting mayonnaise all over me." After a draining day, a young woman finds solace in the comforting hum of a train. Her eyes flutter shut as the world outside blurs into a symphony of passing landscapes. But peace is fleeting. Suddenly, a boisterous voice slices through the tranquility. It's Steve, our oblivious hero, on his cell phone. "Hi, sweetheart," he announces to the carriage. "Yes, I'm on the train now." His conversation, more public than private, continues. "A meeting ran late. Bob from accounting was not involved. She's his only sweetheart. 15 minutes of this auditory assault pass. Our heroine, patience worn thin, makes her move. A smirk playing on her lips, she leans over, snatching the spotlight. "Steve, darling," she purrs into the phone, "hang up and come back to bed." There was this guy who decided to try a new weight loss program. He dialed up the company, ordered their 7-day, 10-pound challenge, and waited with bated breath. And then the next day, there was a knock on the door. On his doorstep stood a stunning 19-year-old representative from the company, her only outfit a pair of running shoes and a sign that read, "If you can catch me, you can have me." For 6 days he tried with all his might, huffing, puffing, and never quite catching. After 6 days of chasing and no catching, he decided to weigh himself. To his surprise, he had lost 10 pounds just as the program promised. Overjoyed, he couldn't resist ordering the company's 5-day, 10-pound program. His enthusiasm was uncontainable, his energy infectious. Feeling bold, he decided to take it up a notch, ordering the 7-day, 25-pound program. The company representative asked, "Are you sure? This is our most rigorous program." Undeterred, he replies with a confident, "Absolutely." Excitement bubbles within him, as he awaits the next day's surprise. But when the knock came the next day, he found a huge, muscular man in pink running shoes and a sign that read, "If I catch you, you're mine."